Welcome to the Danilo Husar's Memorial Lecture 2010 edition. As you know, this lecture series honors my colleague and scholar here at the University of Toronto, Danilo Husar's, who was a member of the Slavic department and passed away very prematurely 11 years now. First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming. And in particular, I want to thank Danilo's family for coming. His mother, his wife, his sister, and the rest of his family. We are always grateful for their participation. I also want to particularly thank the Canadian Foundation for Ukrainian Studies and particularly Oksana Struk for their financial support of this lecture series. This is the 11th Danilo Husar's Memorial Lecture. In an academic institutional chronology, that's a rather long time. Many academic institutions fail in 2 or 3 years, let alone 11. So I'm proud and happy to see this program continue. But it not only continues, we're actually flourishing. Those of you who were present last year may recall that on the occasion of the 10th lecture, we made a number of announcements, one of which was the transference of the Struk Fund from the auspices of the Canadian Foundation for Ukrainian Studies to the Canadian Institute of Ukrainian Studies, where that fund now supports the activity of the Danilo Husar's program in Ukrainian literature. This lecture series is a part of that program, of course, but in as much as our budget was rather limited, this lecture series and a few other minor activities constituted more or less the entire activity of the program. But now, with the transference of this fund to the University of Alberta, where it was managed, we will have a somewhat more substantial base to work from. And since the money was transferred not quite a year ago, we hope to be in a position where we will actually have some money to work with. Those of you who are familiar with university finances may know that from the day the money comes in to the day when you get a payout and can use the money for anything at all is always a little more than a year. So we are in the fortunate position that we are anticipating the money day when we can actually start activity paid for from this fund. The activity has, of course, already begun. As I mentioned last year, we are already actively at work, in as much as work can begin without money, on 2 important projects. Our first goal in the Struk program will be to compile and publish the literary criticism of diaspora literary scholars, and most particularly, of course, of our namesake, Danilo Struk. Work is well underway on preparing that. Over the next year, I hope to be working on that with a student assistant, and presumably in about a year's time,